As I go back through this, I'm sort of taking a more critical look at Toll's character, as I know his storyline start to finish. But I'm trying to actually take a look at him in these individual early conversations to see exactly, what's his angle. Excuse me. At this point, he's very much playing up the fact that he's on their side, the Darkling side. Um, I'm actually have to try here. He went into his berserk mode and killed me. Oh, this sucks. Maybe I should go a little harder on him, I guess. Yep, I died. This is tough. Damn. Jeez. Wow, he just wiped me. Yep, it's gonna be a dead guy every time. Oof. Alright. I don't expect that. There's a question to ponder while I'm grinding this out. If I gave you the winning lotto number, or we'll just say the Powerball, okay, let's say the Powerball is something respectable or something gigantic, like say $500 million. Okay, not quite, you know, the highest of high at like $1 billion, like we've seen. It's gotten over $1 billion in the past, but I'm gonna give you the, you know, the winning numbers for the Powerball or the Mega Millions, and you're gonna win $500 million. First question is, do you take the annuity? Do you take the cash up front? Second of all, what do you do with said money? Because my mother often talks about, if I ever won the lottery, I would pay off all your debts, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I get it, because, you know, you're at a different point in your life than I am. But, I would definitely use the money to not only pay off my debts, but, you know, I mean, like, the other big question, like, would you continue to work? Yeah, I would continue to work. Every person needs something to do with their life. Even if I don't ever need to make another penny in my life working, I mean, I'm still worth, you know, working, though I would, you know, if I could, I would prefer to stay anonymous. You know what I mean? Win the lottery and stay anonymous. Which the state I live in Pennsylvania allows you to do that. For other states, I guess it's part of a right to know or something. I don't know. I mean, I understand the concept of, you know, hey, if I'm putting money into the lottery, whether it's $1 or $50 or whatever, you know, I want to make sure that you're not just making up, you know, McDonald's Monopoly level bullshit where no one's actually winning any of the prizes. And the only way to win prizes is essentially to, you know, be a friend of the guy who holds all the prizes. You know. What a joke. You know? It's like the greatest scam ever. And I know that, you know, McDonald's corporate wasn't exactly probably 100% aware of that, but, you know, could you imagine, like, oh yeah, we're gonna give $1 million away every, you know, let's say every year from McDonald's Monopoly to try and draw you in. And then, you know, the guy who has the winning, you know, the most important tickets, which are like, you know, the boardwalk to the Park Place. You know, he's holding the boardwalk, and he basically is like, well, you know, I can give you the boardwalk, but you're gonna have to do something for me level of bullshit. You know. So all the big prizes like cars and money and trips, you know, they only went to people that he was personally familiar with, or who would, you know, be willing to pay him a certain amount of money for the winning tickets. Or at least that's how I understand the story. I mean, I know a lot of the smaller things were like, you know, win $50, which I'm pretty sure he didn't give two shits about. But like the big stuff, you know, the car, the trip, and that was all, you know, that was all in his power to basically control what happened with those items. But, you know, that part I understand, you know, the need for transparency to say, hey, someone did win the Powerball, you know, the winning lotto numbers were sold at this particular place or whatever. But at the same time, like, I would hate to to win any significant amount of money, even $1 million, just $1 million, and find out that, you know, everybody's bugging me for money, you know. You know, John needs money, Karen needs money, you know, hey, we could do so much with that. The church itself, you know, I would give money to my church, but, you know, like, even they might like, oh man, you know how many houses in Africa you could build with that? It's like, yeah, I know how many I could build 1,000,000,000,000 houses with my money, But, at the same time, like, I don't know. I'm always a little hesitant when it comes to charities. Because, for every good charity out there that uses the money, to make sure that, the research is going towards, helping kids with cancer or whatever, cancer research. A lot of times you hear about these nonprofits where, like, the people running them are, pulling in $100,000 salaries. It's like, good for you, whatever you can get away with, but, I mean, the quote-unquote average salary in America is like $50,000 or $55,000. So, and I feel like that number is very heavily skewed by the fact that there are a lot more people with over, $1 million in their account, and that there are a lot of people that are making like less than $12,000 a year. But anyway. I believe everyone should be able to make a living wage no matter what they do with their life, whether they flip burgers at McDonald's or, they help to solve cancer, And, the amount of money that someone walks away with in profit should, be kind of dictated not by, well, how much money can I squeeze out of the consumer, but more along the lines of like, hey, I am putting my money into this. It is an investment, so I deserve some sort of, reward payoff, particularly if my business operates well. I should get some amount of profit back from my investments, but, I don't know. This concept of, well, we're going to make sure that the workers don't get paid. It just, in a good economy where, there are lots of jobs and there are lots of employees, the ability to say, hey, I'm a proven loyal employee, I'm worth X amount of dollars. And then when it comes to time, you've worked for a company for years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever, and you say to them, hey, I haven't really seen a significant raise in 5 years. You've just been giving me cost of living. And you say, hey, I think I deserve, $5, $10 an hour raise. Or something like that, you know what I mean? And then, your boss says, well, we can't afford that right now. It's like, okay, that's fine and everything. But what ends up happening in a lot of cases is you leave, you end up finding a position that will pay you what you're asking for, and then the company that you left ends up hiring someone for slightly above what they were already paying you, depending on level of skill, So if they're paying you $15 an hour, we'll just say, and they need to replace you, they'll likely hire someone with as much or slightly less experience and then pay them $16 an hour. Now that's obviously not a $5 increase over, like I said, where you feel that, you should be making $20 an hour instead of 15 because you know the ins and outs of the system. And ultimately, a lot of businesses can't see, the short-term versus long-term benefit of having people with experience. If you have someone who has lots of experience in a system that you've been running, and then all of a sudden, you have to go about training someone from the ground up, you're losing not only their efficiency until they can get up to speed, which sometimes takes upwards of a year to do, but you're also losing labor hours in people training you. So instead of me working on, say, what my work I have to spend hours training a customer service representative on how to operate our system and how, the different products and that. Taking time out of my day when I've got my own stuff, that I got to get done. Now, if I work, 8 hours a day and I've only really got 6 hours of meaningful work, then yeah, I get it. I can easily work a 2 hours into teaching someone per day into my schedule. And, whereas my day is, chock full of work, I don't really get much of a quote unquote break. I nevertheless, I'm being an efficient worker for my company. Okay. So, but the way companies tend to work in a lot of cases, not always, but a lot of cases, is that, you try to get as much work out of an employee as you can with the least amount of, least amount of time invested in them. So, when an employee shows that they can do 8 hours of work, efficiently in an, 8-hour day, then, well, let's push them a little bit farther and see if they can also take over this responsibility. You basically push them to the point that they no longer can handle the amount of workload that you've provided. And then when you turn around and you say, well, hey, there used to be 5 people doing this job, now there's 3, you should be paying us, a lot more to help cover the fact that you're no longer paying 3 employees. The argument is, well, whatever, not a big deal, we'll give you $2 an hour more or something like that. I hope to shut you up, meanwhile they're saving money on not only a wage, but benefits, that have to be factored in, because, live in a country that doesn't provide healthcare as a basic service. So, I wouldn't say our quality of our service is worse than any other place in, the world. It's certainly not the best. I know that according to the statistics, it's not the best that you can get. But in terms of, quality for money, I mean, we spend tons and tons of money, and, the quality we get out is, it's like, I think, like $20 more expensive than the next, similar quality in another country, It's like 20% cheaper. Are you kidding me? And you pay less overall, in your benefits through taxes. I don't know. I mean, I get the concept of, well, how the fuck do you incentivize people to work if they can just get free fucking healthcare from the government without having to put anything in it? And I understand that part. I understand this need to incentivize people, to work. And at the same time, like, I sort of wonder, like, hey, if you get ill, why is it that suddenly not only do you become destitute, but your entire family oftentimes ends up having to pull the slack, from the fact that you get injured on a workplace or something. Or, everyone should be able to contribute is basically what I'm trying to say, but at the end of the day, some people can't contribute, and, we're just gonna fuck them because there are lazy people in this world? No. We shouldn't, anyways. But you know what they say, when you feed the poor, you're a saint. When you ask them why they're poor, you're the communist in the room. Go pull yourself up by your bootstraps. That's how it works. What happens when you don't got bootstraps, huh? What happens when you don't got no bootstraps? Mommy and daddy give you fucking bootstraps to pull yourself up with, Alright, so hopefully this is enough to get by this boss now. Kind of grinded out an extra life, or an extra level I didn't think was necessary. Otherwise you guys are going to be sitting here watching me try to figure out the boss pattern for a while. How dare you be a traitor, Toll?